Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. Well, folks, as of yesterday and definitely today, there has been a light that has been shined on the state of Missouri. And I'm coming to you straight out of St. Louis. And that light, whether you're for it or against it, is that President Trump has tapped Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey for FBI Co-Deputy Director post. So he's going to be the Co-Deputy Director for the FBI, and that was announced yesterday. And for those who have any idea who Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey, who's been in the news media recently and definitely involved in the courtrooms, because remember, Attorney Andrew Bailey went after Kim Gardner when she was a St. Louis Circuit attorney and got her ousted. He recently has been going after our newly elected sheriff in St. Louis City, Alfred Montgomery. And then even more recently, he is part of the indictment against our St. Louis County executive, Dr. Sam Page. So, and Attorney Andrew Bailey has been very busy going after politicians, and some of our elected leaders in the St. Louis metropolitan area. You have to remember, St. Louis City is a blue city, but St. Louis County is red, and definitely the state of Missouri is red and Republican. So Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey is a Republican, and of course Donald Trump is a Republican, and President Donald Trump just snatched Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey to this new post as Co-Deputy Director of the FBI. So let's get into the story. President Trump is tapping Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey to be Co-Deputy Director of the FBI. In a press release yesterday, Attorney Bailey said he would resign on September 8th to take the FBI position. He said it has been a humbling privilege to serve as the 44th Attorney General of the state of Missouri. And he said, I am forever grateful to the people of Missouri for the opportunity to represent our state and your families. My life has been defined by a call to service, and I am once again answering that call, this time at the national level. But wherever I am, wherever I'm called, Missouri is and always will be home. It's a surprising move that gives Governor Mike Kehoe an opportunity to fill his first statewide vacancy and shakes up the state's long-term politics. He's scheduled to announce Bailey's replacement Tuesday morning, which is today. And I will be telling you who he picked. It is Attorney Catherine Hanaway. Attorney General Andrew Bailey's appointment as the Co-Deputy Director of the FBI is another testament to President Trump's commitment to enforcing law and order, as Andrew has been a fighter for our state and nation throughout his entire career, Governor Kehoe said on X. Although Missourians will miss Andrew's strong leadership in the Attorney General's office, we know that he will serve Americans well at the FBI. Congratulations to Andrew and his family on the appointment. That's what Governor Kehoe said. Kehoe's replacement will fill out more than 3 years left on Bailey's terms. The potential selection includes former U.S. Attorney Catherine Hanaway, a St. Louis County resident who previously served as the Missouri Speaker of the House. So as of today, or later this afternoon, we just found out that she did get the appointment. She's Republican. She was a federal prosecutor for a long time, and she is the first and only female speaker of the Missouri House of Representatives. And she did that from the years of 2003 through 2005. So please look her up. You got to know your city and your state laws even better than your federal laws and what's going on in D.C. You need to know who these people are and how they're legislating on your behalf or against your behalf. So she was the first and only female Speaker of the House, Missouri Speaker of the House of Representatives from 2003 to 2005. After Trump won a second term as president, Bailey was considered for a high-ranking position in his administration. But Trump picked former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi to be his U.S. Attorney General and Kash Patel to serve as his FBI director. So you should be familiar with Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Now, Bailey will be joining the FBI as it faces pressure to release information related to the case of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Bondi, Patel, and FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino have received bipartisan criticism for effectively overpromising and underdelivering when it came to releasing Epstein-related files. So Dan Bongino is the guy who's the deputy director of the FBI, and now and Attorney Andrew Bailey is going to be the deputy director with this gentleman Dan Bongino. Why Trump is making two people fill that one position, I don't know if Dan Bongino is on his way out. But if I was him, I would be scratching my head and wondering where's the closest exit possibly, because, you know, Trump can go one way one day and go the another way the next day. Bongino in particular, he's faced some criticism when he promised to release the video of the night when Epstein died. Not only was the footage deemed inconclusive by experts in showing whether Epstein took his own life, but national media outlets such as Wired reported that the footage had been edited numerous times. There's even 1 minute of a gap of space in that video, which is allegedly during the time when he allegedly hung himself. In a statement included in Bailey's press release, Bondi said she was thrilled to welcome Bailey to the FBI. He has served as a distinguished attorney general for Missouri and is a decorated war veteran, bringing expertise and dedication to service, Bondi said. His leadership and commitment to this country will be a tremendous asset as we work together to advance President Trump's mission. While we know this is undoubtedly a great loss for Missouri, it is a tremendous gain for America. That's what Pam Bondi said. Patel added in a statement that Andrew Bailey will be an integral part of this important mission, and he said he looked forward to a continued fight to save America together. So Andrew Bailey is going up there with the rest of the Republicans to continue President Trump's mission. So this is the end of a brief era. Bailey's departure marks the end of it for at least now to a meteoric rise in statewide politics for the GOP official. The Iraq War veteran joined Governor Mike Parsons' administration shortly after the GOP chief executive took office. So he started out with Mike Parsons, eventually making his way to be his general counsel. After Eric Schmitt, now listen to these names. Eric Schmitt was the general counsel, was the lawyer for Mike Parsons, and now he's the U.S. Senator for Missouri on the Republican side. So after Eric Schmitt vacated the Attorney General's office to become a U.S. Senator, past Governor Parson picked Bailey to fill out the rest of his term. So Bailey took over Eric Schmidt's position as the U.S. Attorney General for Missouri. So Eric Schmidt went to the United States Senate. Andrew Bailey took his position, and now Bailey is leaving before his term is up. And we have Catherine Hanaway taking Andrew Bailey's position. Some of Bailey's most high-profile legal moves involve political leaders in the St. Louis region, as I said. One of the first major actions was filing what's now known as quo warranto, if I'm saying that right, to oust then St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner over widespread mismanagement within her office. That was a complete debacle. Gardner resigned before the case worked through the legal process, and she ended up resigning. Andrew Bailey later filed a similar legal maneuver to remove the newly elected St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery from office over a host of issues, accusing him of nepotism and abusing his office. That was currently going on as we speak before he took this position as deputy director of the FBI. That case is still pending, and after a judge appointing him as special prosecutor, his office persuaded a grand jury to indict St. Louis County Executive Dr. Sam Page for using public money to politically attack a countywide ballot proposition. Bailey also evoked controversy during his roughly 2 years on the job. In 2023, Andrew Bailey sparked bipartisan outrage when he filed emergency rules that would have made it nearly impossible for adult transgender Missourians to access gender transition surgery and hormone therapy. Before Bailey withdrew those guidelines, conservative Republicans like then Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft and State Senator Mike Moon said they disagreed with the Attorney General's emergency rules on transgender Missourians having access to gender transition surgery and hormone therapy. Bailey also defended the state's abortion restrictions after Missouri voters placed strong protections for the procedure in the Constitution. Those efforts have generally been unsuccessful, though Planned Parenthood clinics are still unable to offer medication abortion due to a legal dispute. He has regularly joined other Republican attorneys in backing Trump, including the president's recent decision to send the California National Guard to Los Angeles in response to protests over the administration's immigration enforcement. So what has been the reaction to Bailey's departure? After Bailey announced his exit from his statewide post, several prominent Republicans praised him for his electoral service. U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt, whom Bailey replaced as Attorney General, said in a statement that Bailey is a fighter and will do a great job at the FBI. Missouri continues to be a key part of President Trump's revitalization of our system of justice, U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt said. U.S. Representative Ann Wagner, who's a Republican from Baldwin, Missouri, said Trump's outstanding selection of Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey today will strengthen law and order at the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and provide much needed support to Director Kash Patel for further advance to a return of law and order across the nation. Andrew did an outstanding job leading the Attorney General's office in Missouri, and I am confident he will bring that same passion and dedication to Washington, D.C., Republican Ann Wagner, U.S. Representative Republican Ann Wagner said from Baldwin, Missouri. One high-ranking Missouri Democrat leader took a dim view of Bailey's tenure in office. House Minority Leader Ashley Une, Democrat from Kansas City, said in a statement that Kehoe has the opportunity to appoint a competent and professional attorney general who will defend the rights of all Missourians instead of wasting taxpayer money on frivolous cultural war lawsuits that regularly get laughed out of court. Given the damage Bailey inflicted on the reputations of both the Attorney General's office and the state of Missouri, he will not be missed. That is what House Minority Leader Ashley Une, who's a Democrat out of Kansas City, said about him. She didn't really care for him very much. There's been pros and cons about how people felt about U.S. Attorney General Andrew Bailey. I've seen him and have read some of his documents and which way he sways with the courts. And I have not always agreed with him. Sometimes I do think that there was some racial bias in some of his legal opinions. Occasionally, he kind of reminded me of the old St. Louis County prosecuting attorney Bob McCullough, for those St. Louisans who know who or who remember who Bob McCullough was. Didn't really care for Bob McCullough either. So I'm not necessarily going to miss Attorney Andrew Bailey, and we'll have to see with this new Attorney General, Catherine Hanaway, who's been in politics for a long, long time. She's also a Republican, and we'll see if she's going to fill that seat in the appropriate professional and legal way and manner. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.